There's been a lot of buzz recently surrounding these possible end time events. One of them is this guy in whom has come onto the scene in Israel. He's from Spain originally, and his name is Rav Shlomo Yehuda. And a lot of people are talking about this guy. They flood him in Israel everywhere that he goes, and he's this great teacher. Right here's just one of the crowds that gather to hear him speak, and as you can see, it's standing room only. Rabbis from all over the world travel to Israel just to meet this man, and they kiss his hands. Now, there are a couple of different reasons why this man has gained so much attention in Israel among the Jews. One is because he apparently knows word for word the studies over there in Israel, and that is the Talmud, Torah, the books of Moses, the Law, the Prophets, the Psalms, as well as Kabbalah, and all these mystic writings in which they're so well versed in over there. But another factor are the rumors in which they say he is a healer. He actually is performing, if you will, miracles. Here's one man in whom he said things were really going terribly haywire for me. Twice I fell in the hospital and even at home. As soon as I would want to stand up, I would fall to the ground, not able to get back up. Someone told the rabbi all about me. The rabbi then told him about this Rav Shlomo Yehuda. You should go to him. He will bless you. Believe me, everything will be fine. He held my hand, referring to Rav Shlomo Yehuda, and said, you should be healthy and everything will be fine. And apparently the man was healthy afterwards, and we also find quotes like this. He is, referring to Rav Shlomo Yehuda, he is a unique and special soul that has descended into the world to illuminate the world. Another eerie fact about this man is how he's pretty much right around the age of Christ. He's 34 years old. Now, many outside of Israel are speculating that the Jews are looking to this man as their Messiah. But within Jerusalem, within Israel, they're saying, no, we're not looking at him as the Messiah, but I do believe that they see him as a possible prophet. Now, given the fact that this man is so young and so well-versed in the Jewish teachings, and the fact that he's gained all of this respect among all the top chief rabbis among them, I think that he is in the perfect spot to, if a world leader came out and he said, that's the Messiah, I think that all of them would believe him. In Revelation 13:11, we read about this false prophet, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Now we know that this Rav Shlomo Yehuda, he does not believe in Christ. He does not teach Jesus, and he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he doeth great wonders, performs miracles, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. He's basically going to be mimicking Elijah. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Now, as some of you may know, I came out with a video about a year ago speaking about this 10-story tall talking statue that has now been built, and it's a wonder if this is the image of the beast spoken of. I'll be leaving links in the description of this video in order so that you all can just jump right to these videos if you wish to see my own studies on them. Now, secondly, we have the Euphrates River is drying up.
The Euphrates has been the cradle of civilization in West Asia. The river has been the lifeline for millions in Iraq and Syria for thousands of years. But now it has sunk to a historic low.
One of the most troublesome aspects of the Euphrates drying up is the famine that it will cause in the regions surrounding it. Whenever we read about the four horsemen of the apocalypse in Revelation 6, we learn that the third and fourth horsemen on the black horse and the pale horse, we learn that famine is accompanying them. Now, the four horsemen occur after the rapture. I'm pre-trib rapture, so we're not here during that, but this is more for the warning of the tribulation saints, as we call them, those left behind. But later on in Revelation, during the time of God's wrath, we read this, "And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared." You see, it dries up so that the armies, the Antichrist armies, can cross over, and with their tanks or whatever they have at that time, whenever they cross over, and they can all come against Jerusalem. It's to prepare for the battle of Armageddon. So what we're seeing right now, I believe, is just the very beginning stages. But the Euphrates is not the only river that appears to be drying up. Seen from space, extreme drought dries up rivers across the globe. They're predicting that if the conditions do not improve, that by the year 2040, the Euphrates and Tigris rivers will be completely dried up. Now, there's also much talk about the rebuilding of the third temple, and as we all know, Benjamin Netanyahu, he just was reelected in Israel.
In Jerusalem, King David established our capital 3,000 years ago. In Jerusalem, King Solomon built our temple, which stood for many centuries. In Jerusalem, Jewish exiles from Babylon rebuilt the temple, which stood for many more centuries. In Jerusalem, the Maccabees rededicated that temple and restored Jewish sovereignty in this land. And it was here in Jerusalem, some 2,000 years later, that the soldiers of Israel spoke three immortal words: Har Habayit Be'adenu, the Temple Mount is in our hands.
But there's also this, from Texas to Israel, red heifers needed for temple arrive. A Christian farmer in Texas raised the prized heifers, which are essential for priests to serve in the temple. Here's the thing, if they build the third temple, then they can not perform any sacrifices whatsoever until they have this red heifer. Once again, as some of you may already know, I came out with a video describing the importance of this red heifer just a few months ago, and I'll leave the link in the description below. And there's also the importance of the Jews having everything prepared for the third temple, even their reenactments every year. Reenactment of the water libation held to prepare for the third temple. They have the Levites ready, the menorah, all things. And you can also watch my video regarding this water libation reenactment. So one can see how there are many signs beginning to occur in the world today, as we believe that they are, pointing towards the end times. We know that at the time of the apostles, they said, we know that we are in the last days. Now, this is, 2,000 years later. How much closer are we to the very last day right now? In Luke 21, Jesus said this, "And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. For as the lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For wheresoever the carcass is, there will the eagles be gathered together."